Hey guys, thanks for checking in. I'm doing a video today all about the cool things you can do on a trumpet. Now these are all, let me get set up real quick. Oh wow, that's that's awful. Oh, this is gonna be great. It's black. The stripes look really weird on there. That's alright. So just like always, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. We're going to talk about some of the, some cool things you can do with a trumpet. And I'll just start with the mouthpiece. Now I'm playing on a mouthpiece that a friend gave me. And this mouthpiece is a little bit different than the other mouthpieces that you're going to see. It's not a one-piece mouthpiece. It's not a two-piece mouthpiece. I have one of those. I have a Warburton two-piece mouthpiece, and that's in the other room. This is a three-piece mouthpiece. And if you take a look at it, I don't know if you can see. Ow, the glare. That's not much better, is it? But it's a Bob Reeves, Hollywood, California mouthpiece. So the rim is a Giardinelli 3, is what it says on here. That's what I was told. Like I said, a friend gave it to me, but check this out. So this top comes off. That's supposed to, there we go. Watch how that spins this off. Now the reason this comes off, I don't really know. But I'll show you the mouthpiece while I have it. So I have the rim, looks like a ring. In fact, it kind of fits like a ring, except it's too small. And then there's this part. So we got two different pieces here. I know I told you there's three pieces. Who's this? That's a pretty mouthpiece. Oh, thank you. So this is the rim, and you can't really play on it. It doesn't really do anything. You can't really do much there. I'll respond in the chat. Might as well. Thanks, Alyssa. Ducks. So there's two pieces. If I screw it back, I'll leave it here for a second. The other part that comes off is here on the end. Look at that. So this changes the... So Bob Reeves made the mouthpiece. It comes with another piece. This is the piece that goes over the top so that when you put it in the trumpet, it has the right gap between the mouthpiece end and the receiver. If you're not sure about gap sizing and all that, I didn't know much about it till I knew about it. But you can check out gap sizes. It's interesting stuff. Anyway, those are the three pieces. I have another sleeve that I put on to change the gap. It makes a little bit of a difference with the sound, but if you've been playing for a long time, I know it's incredible. Three-piece. It's a Bob Reeves, and the price on these things, these sleeves are like $25. The middle part is like $125 piece of equipment, and then the rims are like $50. These things are ridiculously expensive. But Bob Reeves is he's a machinist, a tooler. He works with metal, and he's amazing at what he does. But anyway, some things you can do on a trumpet that you might not know about. Maybe you do. I'm going to show you some things. You're just goofing around. So with your mouthpiece, if you put your mouthpiece here and you just blow, you have a whistle. Isn't that cool? You can try that at home. Now the cool thing about a mouthpiece like this, since it has an adjustable sleeve on it, if I loosen this up, I can make the tube longer. And what you probably know, the longer, wide shakes. Yeah. If I do this, too far. You want to learn about wide shakes? You mean like shakes on a trumpet? Like trumpet shakes? You mean wider than that? talk about that at some point. A cool thing to do on the trumpet. You see it in jazz band quite a bit. But just a whistle. Trumpet shakes. Well, let me talk. The thing about trumpet shakes is the less pressure you have against your face, the easier it is to do. So if you're pushing really hard into your face and then you try to shake the note, nothing's going to happen. Those are cool. All the seniors flex on me with them. So with trumpet, to do a lip trill or a shake, I'll talk about it in a couple different ways. The first way is if it's a lip trill, you can start by just doing flexibility harmonics. Start with like a C. And you gradually increase the tempo, and then you're doing a shake, or a lip trill in this case. You can do it another way. If you think about vibrato, if you play with wide vibrato, let's say, you hear how the notes going up and down. I'll do it to both the primary note and the note I'm trying to go up to. So with wide vibrato, with wide lip vibrato, the way you move the pitch up and down, if you do that in the middle of both your notes, you can create a lip trill. It's the same motion, you're just doing it a little bit wider between the two notes. And a way to practice to get in between those two notes, you can practice playing between notes with lip bends. Because you want to get right between the two notes and then just vibrato. And then you're doing a lip trill. And you can do that. You get the motion down, you can do it on any note. The higher you do it, the higher the note that you're on when you're doing a lip trill, the easier it's going to be. So there's two ways you can practice. You can try doing a slur back and forth and increase your tempo, or try using lip vibrato and get between the two notes and hit it back and forth. Now that's if you're using your lips to create a lip trill or a shake. The other way to do it is to literally move the trumpet. And you can practice this on low notes. You play a low C. As you pull the trumpet closer into your lips, the pitch will adjust. That extra pressure, that extra pressure will pop the note up if you're not pushing too hard on your primary note. So you don't want to use a lot of pressure when you're playing the trumpet. That extra pressure will pop another note out. You don't want to press too hard, obviously. You'll pop a tooth out. So a literal shake is possible by just pressing in your face a little more. Or another way to think about it is play like a G above the staff. And pull the trumpet away from your face. That way you're thinking less pressure, not more pressure. Let me just pull it away. And if I change valve, me personally, I like doing a lip trill more than I like doing a shake, because I don't like the extra pressure against my face, and I have better control with my lips. And you can practice that on on each of your harmonics, let's say. If you have a good strong airstream and you're able to move back and forth, it's pretty easy. I shouldn't say it's easy. You can learn it pretty quickly if you just try every day. A couple of exercises that might be beneficial if you have, I don't know if you've heard of this book. It's the Charles Colin Flexibility book. Charles, C-O-L-I-N, the Colin Flexibility. It's a 3-volume exercise book, and you can find that. I don't think it's not too expensive, but the second volume has, like I said, it's a 3-volume set. Let me see if I have it. No, I don't have it on me right now. But in the middle of the book, the second set has lip trilling, and it has exercises like and so you're practicing lip trilling throughout your entire register, and it teaches your lips the right motion with the right air and the right aperture to kind of hone in on that skill. And it's great for range building and flexibility. So try that out. I hope it's helpful. I think I have a page one of those from 8th grade. Yeah. So try it out. Anything that you're slurring back and forth between two notes is going to help your flexibility, and it's going to enhance your ability to get around the horn and move between two harmonics quickly. So yeah, try it out, practice it, see if it works for you. If you have any extra questions, just let me know. But yeah, lip trill, and while I'm on the subject of a shake, there's a lot of effects that a trumpet player will use when you're, well, let me show you this one. And I just did sort of a, what would you call it? I was playing for some of the younger grades, trying to tell them how cool the trumpet is so that they'll take trumpet lessons. And I learned this one from one of my teachers back when I was a lot younger. It's you push the valves halfway and see if you can identify the noise. Listen back just so I can hear what that sounds like. So in real life, that sounds like, I don't know, maybe sounds like an alien spaceship or something up above. It's helpful because I'm probably going to take jazz band. Yeah, definitely take jazz band. Jazz band's awesome. Jazz band, that was my favorite class. I love jazz band. I love improv. No, jazz is great. And well, I was going to talk about a daily routine where you include jazz in the daily routine, your daily practice, but I'll talk about that some other time. But yeah, definitely take jazz band. A huge benefit to taking another genre, another style of music, is your reading just goes through the roof. You know, definitely take jazz band. If you can get into an orchestra, read orchestra music, read concert band music, marching band music. There's so many different styles that you can get into. I mean, jazz is great because of the way it's syncopated. You get really good at playing on upbeats, starting on upbeats. You get really good at triplets, because triplets are all over the place in jazz. But your reading it goes through the roof. Your range gets better. You're playing twice as much during the day because you're practicing 2 different genres every day. It's a great thing. Your creativity skyrockets when you learn improv, or you try to improvise. Your scale knowledge goes up because when you're looking at chord changes, you need to know what notes fit with those chord changes. So yeah, jazz band that's a really, really great thing to add to your schedule if you want to be good at playing the trumpet. Yeah, absolutely. Good for you. Jazz band's awesome. Of course, for me, jazz band was like 7:30 in the morning when I was in high school, and I remember my teacher. He started a big band, kind of a community big band. He put a lot of the really great local musicians in it, and he would have me come over and play, fourth and third part, and I get to be next to these 2 or 3 other just fantastic trumpet players. One of them is very renowned. And he has a really famous brother. His name is he's one of the Kaiser brothers, trumpet player, very popular. What was I getting at? But the shake, when I first started playing with that band on third and fourth part, I would see those shakes in there, and I would hear how good they played them and how crisp they were, and they're playing high notes and they're doing those shakes, and that was the coolest thing I've ever heard. And I had no idea how to do that. And the way I learned how to do it was, I heard the way it sounded. It was stuck in my head all day because they kept doing these shakes on every other chart. And I would go back home and I would just, the rest of the day, try to make that sound happen. And I didn't really know what I was doing to get that sound to happen, but eventually it did. All right, but yeah, that's a great question. That's a great thing to talk about. These trumpet shakes. A lot of my students right now are working on the Texas jazz etudes, and there's a shake or two in one of the 3 or 2 of the 3 etudes, and a lot of people are having just a lot of trouble with it. And shakes they can be difficult, but they can be what I want to say. They can be taught. They can be learned. You can do it. But it takes practice. All right, cool. Good question. Or suggestion, whatever you want to call it. So I talked about funny noises. Oh, that's what I was going to talk about a trumpet shake and how that's been used to create different sounds. So I thought a lip trill, you get this weird alien noise. If you use your valves and you use vibrato, you get kind of a weird alien noise. You hear this sound quite a bit on the trumpet around the holidays. The horse whinny, right? So for me, because I shake the trumpet when I'm doing a horse whinny, I'll pull my third valve down halfway. And it's important to find that half valve sound that allows you to go up and down the instrument in a sort of glissy way without hitting the brakes, hitting the harmonics, and then just shaking to get that horse sound. And that's I make the alien noise when I forget to oil my valves. Oh, I know what that's like. That's great. Oil your valves. But yeah, the horse whinny, another classic trumpet thing. And that's another one of those things. I've heard it done so many times. I've heard it done well. And I remember in 7th grade, one of the gals I was playing in some group, and she wanted me to do a horse whinny, and I had such a horrible time trying to figure that out. But eventually, 20 years later, and that kind of goes back to my secret to success. If you want to be good at anything, if you want to be good at something, all you got to do is start doing it and then keep doing it until you're old. That's the secret to success. Oh yeah. Just keep doing something. Was another weird noise. So I got my kids at home, and I'll be buzzing on my mouthpiece. Maybe I'm in the car and we're on a long trip and I'm buzzing on the mouthpiece. And they'll call out animals, right? They'll say, make a cat noise. And I'll be kind of a smart aleck, and I'll make the purr sound. I don't know if that's going to come through on the camera. They say, no, Dad, we don't want that. We want you to make the meow sound. And so I'll try to make a cat sound. Meow. Does that come through? Does that sound like a cat? I'm gonna leave because I have a birthday tomorrow. You're having a sleepover. How do you like that? Happy birthday. Have a good sleepover. My pleasure. I'm glad if you found it helpful. Thanks for watching. I should have brought my plunger mute. I'd give you a plunger solo. You're welcome. You take care. Have a good night. All right. Moving right along. Another sound that I'll use. Another sound. Oh, my slide's sticking. So, another thing you can do. Okay, they'll call out other animals like a duck. Oh, I should have used this before Alyssa left. You make duck calls. You know, if you're into hunting, because you hate animals. Nah, I'm just playing. I hate animals too. Ah, I'm just kidding. I love duck. It tastes delicious. Ah, I'm just kidding. Okay, that's an easy one, right? They'll say dog. I can't really make a dog sound. Because you're kind of limited. You know, your hand can make a... or a... you know, an ow sound. You know, somebody hits you. What you can do, you can make, one kid said, make a hyena noise. I didn't know how to make a hyena noise, but I can make kind of like a laughing noise. Right? That kind of sounds like laughing, doesn't it? If you're laughing at me, that's fine. Some other cool things the trumpet can do. If you're not aware of the secret ancient art of tonguing really fast, this is a great one. Tonguing really, really quick. If you don't know what double tonguing is, it's when you say ta and then ka, like ta with a T and ka with a Q. No, I'm just kidding, with a K. I've seen somebody use Q before. Ku, ku, ku. It doesn't really matter what syllable you use to develop coordination, as long as you're using the front of your tongue and then the back of your tongue. Ta, ka, ta, ka. And you develop that coordination. I think the best way is individually, just ka everything. And I've done this for a long time. I would just ka all my music. Ku, ku, ku. And that develops a faster tongue. You can roll your R's, let's say, when you're playing the trumpet. It gives you kind of a cool growling effect. You gotta blow a lot of air when you're doing that. You can also just kind of hum into the horn to get a dirtier sound. Oh. You hear that a lot in jazz. What's another sound that I make? I was going to talk about, so another trick or another thing you can do on a trumpet, and I have a student who did this on a jazz solo one time, and everybody kind of remembers it and pokes fun at it, but there are some notes that you can play on the trumpet in different ways, like an A or third valve. Let me turn this way so you can see my fingers. So 1 and 2. Actually, this one's a little flatter than, right? Or a G. It's the same sound. And so you can make different, you can use this effect to give yourself different different ideas, like you know what I mean? Kind of sounds like you're playing under the ocean, which I don't recommend, because the salt will destroy the brass on your trumpet. You didn't think about that, did you? No, you just think about yourself. I'm just kidding. Another thing you can do on the trumpet, I don't exactly recommend this, but you can lightly tap on the front and it makes this noise. And that doesn't seem like much, but Mary had a little lamp. That doesn't really work. So you can kind of play on the horn. It's kind of limited, but you can make these different sounds by just moving the particles through the trumpet. And that's actually an interesting thing, that, you know, what do you really need to create sound on this trumpet? You need to move the particles on the inside. You could put like a piece of paper in front of the trumpet and still like give it a whack, like hit the thing. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this. And you can still create a sound just by moving the air particles. And that's useful to know if you ever have to, I don't know. I'm just kidding. But just to imagine moving the particles on the inside to make a sound. To know what's required to create sound is important, because it's not necessarily the amount of air, it's the way you move the particles through the trumpet. And, you know, to go further, I've done this before. You can actually put like a cloth or something over the mouthpiece, and you can still play through that cloth. So it's not even like the vibration of your lips. I don't know what that means, but it's significant, I'm sure. Anyway, there's other sounds you can make on the trumpet. If I take out my second slide, which I do frequently, and let me, before I get to that, let me show you. I got this benge that I'm playing on. And if you look at it, and if you know your instruments, you know that there's something peculiar about it. This second slide is going this way instead of going the other way, which is a little bit obnoxious for me, because I have a downstream. And so when you have a downstream, all the condensation collects at the bottom, down here and down here. If you have an upstream, the condensation comes back through the lead pipe and into the first slide, which is gross. But because I have this and a downstream, water collects here where it wouldn't on a trumpet that has one facing the other direction. So just kind of a side note. But if you take out that slide and try to play it, you get a note. Da. Which is like an A. No, it's an A flat. So if I were to play a song and use this for an A flat, listen to that for a second. So it's not a very clear sound. It doesn't project because the sound's coming out of this. In fact, I'm going to face this direction so you can hear the difference. How does that sound? Well, that's not the most interesting thing, but if you play around with it, it's kind of fun. And each of these makes a different sound when you take the slide out. No, I lied. They're all pretty much the same. You're going to get that same A flat. If you go higher, an E flat will come out. So taking out slides is fun. You can, I don't know why anybody would do this, but you can take this out and you can take your tuning slide out. Well, actually, it's legitimate. Some people actually do, if you can see that, lead pipe buzzing. Like that's a real thing. I think Bill Adams uses that. But if you put your tuning slide back in, but just the top part, you can trick your friends. You can point the air back at yourself, and so if you tell your friends to do it, tell them to blow really, really hard, and they'll just blow air back in their face. It's not really good for anything. It's just kind of screwing around. What else? So I showed you half valves. I showed you a little bit. Yeah. Let's see. If you guys have any questions, let me know. I'm trying to think of, I've been here for a half hour. I already made the cat noise. You can unscrew your valve caps when you play. It gives you kind of a clicking noise that you can hear, which is fun for doing fast finger exercises. You want to annoy your friends, you can just unscrew your valve cap very lightly. You get a fun clicking noise. And that's it. I'll do a part 2 sometime. Other cool things you can do with the trumpet. For now, thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys.